Alright, so what's up everyone? Let's take you guys straight through another post-show training session, and as we can see here, we're doing chest today. So like in my last video, we're still just playing around with each exercise. We're just kind of cruising through our training sessions, and even the same with my food at the moment, just like cruising through everything, playing around, using different variations, different angles, just getting the motivation back into training after post-show. You know, after you finish up with your competition, you know, motivation will drop a little bit. You're tired, you're fatigued, you've been prepping for like 5-6 months and you're just overall tired. So it's all about just gradually bringing yourself back into your training sessions and, you know, enjoying the training sessions and enjoying the food, you know. So here we're starting off with incline seated press just to warm up the chest, get the blood into the muscles. I'm a big believer of always warming up the muscle group first before going into your heavy compound movements. And with this exercise, I like to use a wider grip just so I can put more tension onto my chest, and I'm not going to be putting as lot tension onto my anterior delt, so that's what I just like to use. Now we're moving on to our compound exercise, which is our exercise number 2, and I'm a big lover of using dumbbells over the bench press simply because of my biomechanics. I've always had a lot of issues with my shoulders and anterior delts using the bench press, so I prefer to opt for a dumbbell exercise, and I've always used this in my pre-season and off-season as well. So here we're going to start off with the old traditional flat bench press, the same as a flat barbell press, but just using the dumbbells instead. And with me, I feel like I get a better range of motion. My mechanics work a lot better using the dumbbells, and even in the off season I will still be noting down everything. I'm a big believer also with logging my progress. This way I know every single week my reps are either increasing, my weight's increasing, or it may decrease, and I know where I have to be working with, you know, my rep range, my form, the weights, or even if it's outside the gym with my nutrition, if I need to eat a little bit more to give myself some more energy, or if I need to eat a little bit less if I'm, you know, kind of ahead of schedule. So I'm a big believer in the off season still logging everything that I do, that way I can keep track of all my progress. So with each exercises on the post show, I'll still be keeping everything around about 3 sets. I'm not going to be doing nothing stupid with 4 to 5 sets or doing supersets, drop sets, keeping everything to 3 sets, and rep range is around 10 to 12, and then sometimes I like to finish off with just a heavy set where I work around about 6 to 8 repetitions just to, you know, see how heavy I can go just for pure fun. Now moving on to exercise 3, one of my favorite exercises as well, just to really stretch out the chest and get some fibers recruiting into the muscles. What really brings out those striations is some flat dumbbell flies. Like I said, I'm going to be using a lot of dumbbells in my off season because of my biomechanics and my anterior delts, and I just don't want to cause any injuries. So we're starting off here with some flat dumbbell flies. Now, as you can see here, my goal is trying to bring my elbows as close as I can. So as we get to the top, I won't keep my elbows like bent or at an arc. I'll try and bring them together and squeeze the chest as close as I can so I can get a full contraction on the chest, and that just really for me is what gets the blood pumping into the chest and really helps recruit those fibers in there. So as you can see here, as I'm coming up, I slightly bend out, and I use an analogy as you're hugging a tree. So you want to come round the tree there, and then as you're coming back up, you're trying to hug that tree. But just to finish off, I like to bring my elbows in together. So I'm trying to squeeze my elbows together more so than actually just trying to touch dumbbells together. And that way I'm actually bringing the chest to its smallest range of motion, and it's really going to be, you know, contracting the muscles in the chest, recruiting the fibers, and pushing that blood and nutrients into the muscles. And if you give this a try, you'll notice the pump will be insane. So once I finish there, I'll do again like 3 sets in total of the flat flies. You know how it goes, we always got to finish off halfway through the session with a little pose down to see how conditions looking. So at the moment we're about a week and a half post competition, so you know, still in really good condition, feeling really confident where I am at the moment. Food's gradually going up. I know conditions going to be slowly going in the next couple of weeks, but overall it's just about strength at this stage, pushing the food up and just trying to get the strength up at the same time. So we're going to be moving on to the next exercise. Same exercise as the last one with the dumbbell flies. All I'm doing here now is just changing variations just for a bit of a change, see if I get a different feel from it. So here we're going to be doing an incline fly. Now what I'm doing here, which is a little bit different, is I've moved myself up the bench. So instead of sitting at the bottom, I push myself as high as I can on the bench just to get a really good incline and a different variation of this exercise. It's almost like doing it on the preacher. You may see a few people use the dumbbell flies on the preacher machine. This is almost the same, but just a little slight decrease of an angle as if you was using a preacher curl bench or machine, whatever it is that you want to call it. And it just hits the muscle groups in a completely different variation. There's nothing specific about doing it this way. There's no science behind it. It's literally just hitting the muscle group from a different angle, and that's what it's all about for me at this stage. I'm just trialing out different angles. I'm just getting a feel for different exercises. So when it comes to, you know, we're fully in depth on my off season, I can start incorporating these exercises and these variations into my off season if I feel like they were working, if I feel like the improvements were, you know, coming really nicely in the muscle groups that I'm training, then I can incorporate that into my actual official off season. So that's the reason why I'm doing all these different variations, and this exercise was one of those that I really like and will possibly add into my program when it comes to off season. And then to finish off, none other than the cable flies. Some people like to call these the crossovers, but I like to call them flies because you're doing the same exercise as you are with the dumbbells, and you're just doing a fly movement instead of doing a crossover. You ain't crossing your hands or you ain't crossing the cables, but that's just me. That's what I like to call them. But here I'm doing kind of like a superset. So what I like to do here is just to finish off the chest and just get an overall pump and burn and just fatigue out the chest, is I'll do 10 to 12 repetitions where I'll do like a pec deck movement. And then what I'll do is I'll finish off with 10 to 12 repetitions in a lower cable fly movement, just to hit more of the upper chest, and again simply just to hit 2 different variations of the chest and overall finish and fatigue the chest completely. If you give this a try at the end of the workout, you'll just feel the crazy pump, the burn, and you know, by the end of it your chest will be completely fatigued out and it'll feel like the skin's just going to be popping. So normally I'll just finish there with my chest, but today I was feeling a little bit energized, I was feeling really pumped, and I was feeling in a good place. So I wanted to do a couple biceps exercise. This is one exercise I haven't done in a while and I wanted to give it a try, and this is the spider curls with the barbells. Now here I'm using the straight bar barbells, and this is really just to overall get the peak of the biceps. What I like to do is draw my elbows back as far as I can and just pull up almost like a pull movement instead of a curl movement, and this is just really going to hit the peak of the biceps and it just gives an overall burn. And then to finish off with the last exercise, like I said, nothing crazy for biceps. I'm just going to be doing some dumbbell hammer curls, and that's pretty much it. Overall, just hitting the peak of the biceps, just finishing it off because I feel like I still had a bit of energy in me. I had a good little pump on, and I just wanted to do it just because, you know, off season, this stage post show, it's all about having fun, doing what you want. If you feel like you want to chuck something in, chuck it in. Don't feel like you have to stay to your program word for word. If you want to chuck something else in, whether it's triceps, biceps, shoulders, chuck it in. If you've got the energy, go for it. So that's why I'm doing this here. But normally I will just stick to one muscle group each workout. So in total, we done the spider curls and these hammer curls. We done 3 sets each for these arm exercises, just to get an overall pump onto the arms, and that was me done. The pump was unreal. The complete exercise and workout was really good, and that's another exercise and training session done with the Warrior. Chest and bicep post show. Hope you did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you on the next one.
Keep chasing shadows, they're always haunting me, but